Welcome to the Ananda Podcast. I'm Sammi.
And I'm Dylan. If you are on a journey to becoming the best version of yourself,
and you want to create a life beyond your wildest dreams, you're in the right place.
Let's dive in.
Today, we're joined by Genna Woolston, CEO and co-founder of Silver Swallow. Genna is sober, proud, mental health advocate, mom, and entrepreneur who decided to cut back on alcohol to better support her mental health. Alongside her partner, Andrew, she created Silver Swallow, a beautifully crafted and delicious non-alcoholic wine made from fermented teas and real ingredients. What started as a personal shift turned into a business rooted in intention, integrity, and better for you choices. We're so excited to talk about sobriety, dry January, and redefining what celebration can look like. Thank you, Genna, so much for joining us.
Yeah,
we mixed up your product before hopping on this podcast, and I have to say, it's delicious.
Thank you.
Absolutely
So good.
delicious.
Thanks so much.
When I am in the store next, I'm going to be buying it.
Oh, lovely. I'm glad I have a new customer. Yeah, I think it's a really nice match. It's just like even the color schemes. Like, look at this
Yeah.
Blanc with your lemon lime. So great. Mm-hmm. And then the rosé with the cranberry.
So perfect.
Like real natural ingredients, just vibing together in the glass. Yep.
Yeah, because for me, whenever I drink non-alcoholic drinks, a lot of times they're like some of them where they've had the alcohol removed.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's kind of missing something. And then other ones, they're just like kind of intense trying to mimic alcohol, and they don't quite do it for me. But this is just tastes natural and naturally complex, which is nice.
100%. Yeah, no, we found, I do like a lot of the de-alcoholized beers. I find that industry has really found their craft. But I think from what our customers are saying, the non-alcoholic wine alternatives, a lot of them just aren't hitting the mark. And part of it is just the process. So when wine is made, it's a higher alcohol, so you have to remove more alcohol. And in that, when you're de-alcoholizing, you're taking a lot of the complexity and of the fermentation process. So my husband and I, he's a food scientist.
Cool.
Decided, like, I was rethinking my drinking and didn't really love any of the options out there. So we said, why not focus on fermented teas instead?
Yeah.
Because there are tea sommeliers, just like there are wine sommeliers.
Mm-hmm.
So we search the world for teas with terroir and specific wine notes and use a natural fermentation process to never have to de-alcoholize and keep it, just real fermented goodness.
I love it. It's like a play on kombucha with being fermented tea, but then turning it into something like a rosé or a bubbly white. It's so good.
Exactly.
And there is
Elevating
so
it.
much like complexity in the flavors. It feels so luxurious. It's really, really good.
Thank you.
So great job.
Thanks. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, I want to hear all
Absolutely.
about your journey. Like, how did you start this? When did you start this? Take us back to the
Okay,
beginning.
yeah, from the beginning. I can give you the long story.
Yeah, you sure
I
can.
have the 2 minutes.
Settle in. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
There's no limits.
So I believe it was 2019, right before COVID, was rethinking my drinking and we decided on these tea recipes. And at that time I was still drinking, and I still do now. But I wanted something that was equally high end and also gave you that travel in a glass kind of experience too. So for example, with our white, it's the world's best white tea from Yunnan, China. It's from a specific microclimate, mountainous region where it's hand-picked and it's sun-dried and organic. And we really like that element of travel. I think many of the de-alcoholized options out there, they're kind of lacking that. They don't have that terroir. Like if you think about a good wine, you think about, it's from this region or this family. And that's part of the experience, is learning about different worlds and different, parts of the world and different environments and how they affect the ingredients in there.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things we wanted to give people, is because alcohol is so much more than just the effects it has on mental state, but the enjoyment and the placebo effect of traveling in a
I
glass.
love that.
Right. I like that. So, okay, what were you doing before you decided to start this?
Oh, yeah. So I worked for the government, as many Ottawans do.
Yes.
I worked in consulting. I worked in the government, and I have a background in like business development and regulation, which turns out to be, as you guys probably know, importing and exporting across North America. And there's some hurdles to jump.
For sure.
And then I took some time off to take care of my daughter, and that lasted about 2 months of me doing, just 100% parenting. And then I started this as kind of a side project to keep me entertained and engaged, especially during COVID. And then I just became obsessed with it.
Really?
And it just took off. And just giving people joy. I mean,
you're literally saying your story of following your bliss. Like you were obsessed with it, and that's why you kept going.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's fun and it feels like you're expanding and growing, and it's this adventure of bliss, right?
Giving people joy. Like the messages we get. There's some really niche ones that really stand out. Like one person said, "I bought a bottle to celebrate signing my adoption papers," and you're just like, this is lovely.
Yeah,
that you
could
could
make me cry.
Isn't that sweet? Like I don't. That one really stood out, and that was years ago. But it was such a niche, specific, celebratory event.
Yeah,
that she said she wanted to have something equally special, but without the alcohol.
I love that.
Okay, so you have this idea to start this business, and how did you start? Okay, because like people
with multiple failures,
right? Well, because people, everybody has a dream.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not running a business, but a lot of people have something they're passionate about.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be cool to do that, but then it's just kind of always remains this pie in the sky sort of thing.
Right.
What was the process for you to go from that'd be cool to I'm doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I had a boss once, and they always said, "Don't let the great get in front of the good." Mm-hmm. And I think I'm a perfectionist in recovery. I like to say, and I think that learning to put yourself or your product or your service, or yourself in any attribute that you're trying to grow, can be tricky. But once you get used to it, you can roll with it. You learn that you can fail, or you can do good enough, and then you can improve on it. Yeah. So that I'm sure as you guys have developed your product and refined it, and refined probably your branding and your colors and your schemes. Just not letting the great get in front of the good, and once you see people react to it, you're on a good path. Yeah. And whether it's worth continuing.
So, okay. So when you start this, how long did it take for you to find a recipe that worked? Because I know for us, we had the idea. We're like, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. We don't know where to start.
We have no idea what we're doing.
It's like you're trying to find your pants in the dark or something. It's like, and you just start trying random things, seeing what works. There's this experimentation. Money goes into it because obviously it's an investment. Yep. And I don't know if this happened for you, but for us, we started telling family or people around us, like, here's what we're doing. And they're like, are you crazy? Do you know how many regulations there are? You have to do it like this.
I mean, luckily she did.
I knew I needed to know. I didn't know what I needed to know.
So like, what's that experience like going, formulating a product? Did you have anybody around you? And you're like,
her husband.
Are you sure?
My husband, yeah. So luckily he's a very modest but really good home chef and product developer. Cool. And that, but of course there was refinements. Right. We started out with refrigerated product.
Were you making it in your kitchen like how we were?
Yeah. No, definitely. Even to this day, when we change anything, it's done in our home kitchen. Yeah. And in mason jars.
Yeah.
The way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's not, we were talking about some of the de-alkalized options out there, and some of the reasons they're not hitting the mark. But a part of it, I like to, a lot of them are like chemicals in a can. Do you know what I mean? It's like artificial this, artificial that, preservative this, preservative that. And then it's like, what am I drinking? Like is this a mojito?
Right. I know. And they don't
Yeah.
taste like a mojito. Like
Yeah.
we make a great mojito with our product with the lemon lime as well.
Yeah.
And it's a real mojito.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that you're adding is functional mushroom extracts and then organic lemon and lime extracts and concentrates from real lemons and limes
Real
that are
fruit.
grown on trees at the farm where our flavors are made, like organically. It's just real. And then you're adding fresh lime juice and mint and sparkling water, and that's it. And it's so easy.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
And it's really important to me. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what your connection, and I'd love to hear about why you took that route. But for me, my Nana and Papa, they had a farm just like 45 minutes south of here, and grew their own food, and that was and same with my husband. His grandparents and father are real big like hobby gardeners.
Yeah.
And just keeping that connection to real food is so important to us. We were traveling in France this summer, and it really hit home again about, how things don't need to be complicated when they're fresh and they're good.
That is definitely Europe, eh? Like you go to Europe and it's like, oh, this is so simple, but it's the best thing I've ever eaten.
Yeah, exactly. Just
because it's real.
Basil.
Everything. It's like,
How is it all so good?
I know. There's part of me, I'm like, maybe I should get into the produce industry and see how that the whole system works.
It's probably being an entrepreneur. You kind of want to conquer the whole world.
I know. You got to choose your battles.
You have to choose.
Yeah. Or your bliss.
Yeah. Okay, so like once you got down your first formula.
Yep.
What was the next step for you in kind of launching? What did that look like?
Yeah, so we started with our Blanc, so that was our original. And then from there, again, not letting the great get in front of the good, literally walked into Whole Foods with a bottle and was like, you guys should carry this. It's a 10-minute walk from my house.
Yeah.
And the grocery buyer was like, yeah, we should.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. We didn't have a barcode at that time.
Yeah.
You're going to need a barcode. Okay, we can get a barcode.
Yeah.
And it was a long journey between that moment of sitting down in the Whole Foods cafeteria and sharing a bottle to getting it on shelves in terms of, the regulatory and the insurance and going through that process. But it happened.
Wow,
that was
that's
back
incredible.
In the day before Amazon bought Whole Foods, right?
No, it was
Really?
they were all, yeah.
So did you start in just the local Ottawa Whole Foods?
Started in Ottawa,
and
then we expanded to Ontario, and then we expanded to BC.
Amazing.
Yep. So we're across Canada with them.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and just getting our first U.S. customers for Valentine's Day.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys have taken like the retail approach then?
We've taken the retail approach. I love your product. I think with the size of it and that it's concentrated, it makes it so much more sustainable to be able to like ship it direct to people.
Yeah.
People don't realize how expensive shipping is, especially in Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, people sometimes, I don't know if do you guys sell your product online at
We
all?
do. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever get people who are like, why is shipping so expensive? Why isn't there free shipping? It's like, if you saw how much I spent on shipping every week, it would make you want to vomit.
You can't.
I feel like we're single-handedly funding Canada Post.
That's funny.
Lord knows they need it.
We're literally a drop in the bucket, but still, for a small business, it feels like so much.
Yeah.
So how much percentage of your business is direct to consumer and how much is?
It's probably like 20%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're taking more of the retail
Which makes sense for
approach.
your product, 100%.
Yeah. On shelf, it's, we found our distributors. You're asking what next step.
Yep.
So getting the retailers, and then, showing a distributor, look, I have enough demand. So we've just signed on with the same distributor in the U.S. so we can distribute across Canada and the U.S.
Incredible.
now. Yeah. Our first pallet is on its way to California.
Yay.
At the moment.
Congrats.
So explain to our listeners, because for us, this is normal. Right?
Yeah.
But most people don't know
They
how
have
it
no
works.
idea,
And
like
we want
the
people
details.
to like learn, because when we started this, it's like we were so naive
Right.
of like, oh yeah, let's just do this. And then when we would start to think about the next 10 steps, it would be overwhelming and we'd be like, what are we doing?
How are we
Like
gonna
we
get
have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
And how are we going to even figure this out? But then you take the next
The next step. Yep.
and you figure that out. And then,
Yep.
and then in a year, it's like you're speaking a whole different language and you've learned so much.
Yeah.
But we really want people to come away with, the listeners, oh my gosh, that's how it works to build a business. That's what a founder's doing behind the scenes.
It's a roller coaster.
Because even people are like, oh, okay, say you make a product for $5 and you sell it for $15, you make $10 profit. It's like, no.
No, you don't.
No, for sure. Yeah,
Right. And so it's like all of that, it was, I feel like, so valuable to us. And it makes me respect and want to support small businesses to understand how business works.
Yeah.
So I want them to come away with like, wow, this is all the things that they have to do to get this product that was just an idea.
Yeah.
Number one, to create it. Number two, to pass it through all these people to get it to me so that I can walk down to my local Whole Foods and pick it up and buy it for this price.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't understand the value, but now I do.
Right.
You know, I want that to be what they come away with. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much behind the scenes. I just had I'm kind of a ChatGPT addict, but I just did my year in review with ChatGPT. It's like Spotify.
Yeah. Cool.
So I had it summarize our team's work, and it was grit. You know, needing to have grit and grace. And that really summarized like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But also the realities of, you know, I just did a post about this, but you know, from the shelf, it's a beautiful, bubbly product and we're bringing people joy. But, you know, in the background, it is
wild.
It is wild.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I do you know, any job that would be like, this is your job, now do it forever, wouldn't be, keep my mind engaged the way that I like it to. So it's always a new problem. But yeah, just did my first export to the States, and it's like, oh, that's a problem. We got to solve that.
Yep.
Okay. And this and that. And
Every day,
But
right?
you start to learn. It was interesting. While I was in Europe, I got news of a supply chain disruption. And that was going to be pretty major for our business. And it was I don't know if it was the first time, but it was a time that really came out. And I was like, I'm not going to sweat this.
Yeah.
What is sweating
What
this
can you
gonna
do? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I said, I took the wet noodle approach. It's just like, I just need to
I love these terms you're using.
nothing.
Yeah. You need to do that more
I need to
often.
do it more.
I'm just going to start saying that. Wet noodle.
Wet noodle. Just
relax.
Just let the world wash over you for a minute.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, learning your resilience.
Yeah.
And learning that you tomorrow will take that first step.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with like coming back to dry January, one of the reasons that I have enjoyed cutting back on drinking is resilience.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, a lot of alcohol is so ingrained in our society in so many ways, but you're stressed, have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need to pick me up, have a drink, right? And then you're in a social environment. You're a little uncomfortable.
You need a drink.
You need a drink.
Yeah.
And I used to do that. I wouldn't have said I had an alcohol, you know, issue or problem. But yeah, if I showed up to a party, I was like, where's the bar?
Right.
You know, I need something in my hand.
Right.
And just learning habits that build, you know, without being dependent on alcohol. Because it does de-stress you in the moment, but then it doesn't build your resilience to manage stress.
That's so true.
Outside of you know, that instant gratification kind of thing. So that's
and it
one
also
of the benefits
steals your dopamine for the next day.
Yeah. Oh.
So it's like
Yeah.
you feel extra good now, but tomorrow you feel like crap
Exactly. Yeah.
for many reasons.
Yeah, and being a mom, like being a parent.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the last time I was hungover. My daughter was maybe 2-3 months old, and I went to a wedding. It was like open bar. I can drink. My parents are home. You know, they can take care of the baby. And then I got home and I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh, I'm hungover in the middle of the night, and my daughter's. It's not that I just need the night off.
Yeah.
I need to be able to be present in the middle of the night when she wakes up and in the morning and, for those weekends. And I think that's another real motivation. And I'm not saying it's easy, like for people who are rethinking their drinking, I want to be real that like, it is an addictive substance. Like, even if you don't even realize it, but our habits become so, it becomes so habitual. And so breaking it can be challenging, but I hope that you can hear people's stories that if you get past a couple months of finding a new equilibrium, there are so many benefits.
Yeah.
And it feels great.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love
And then
that.
just feeling great
Yeah.
reinforces itself.
100%.
I know for a lot of people, even the health trackers help them a lot because they realize, they drink a glass of wine or something and they notice their sleep is terrible that night. And when they don't drink, they have that improvement. And so I know a lot of people have been like, well, I started seeing that.
Yep. No, I know.
Or anxiety, reduce, going down.
But like 50% of people considering not drinking alcohol. That's
moderating.
Alcohol.
So finding a new balance.
It's huge.
I love that.
Globally, 50%.
People don't realize.
Yeah.
For a lot of human history, people only drank alcohol because water was not safe to drink.
It was a food safety. Yeah, it was a food safety.
Wow, that's wild to think about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, essentially, it's hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
In your drink.
In your body,
right?
yeah.
It actually served a function. You have to imagine thousands of years ago, they put some grape juice in a little sachet and forget about it.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like safe to drink and it makes you a little tipsy. It makes you a little,
it stores better.
looser.
You can ship it around.
And then you're like, hey, this is a pretty great invention.
Yeah.
It's better than, some disease that's going to.
Moldy grape juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. No, it is an interesting history of it. And I did hear as well, like coming back to the trackers, that is one of the major, it's all a catalyst. It's interesting because we got into this in 2019 and the stats were, it's going to be 20% growth year over year. And you're like, okay, this is, not only bliss, but like a good business plan.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
And then to see that come into reality, I find that so fascinating that people can project these trends.
Yeah.
Right.
And then not know that your biometric data is going to be something that reinforces it, or even Ozempic. A lot of people who are using Ozempic to manage weight issues doesn't mix with alcohol.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's another motivation. It's just fascinating. Like, you wouldn't have known that in 2019.
No. Yeah.
And then, people turn to it for all different reasons.
And then even just this sober curious movement and the Gen Zs not wanting alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge cultural shift that is really leading massive changes in
really
the younger generation.
Yeah.
Which just makes me think about my growing up as a teenager versus what they're going to experience.
Yeah.
And I just hope that the phone is not the new alcohol where they're just not connecting at all.
Right.
But because at least
I feel people
at
are
least
already
you
tired of
got
it.
out and met people, but but you had to have alcohol to do that,
Right.
Or at least we felt that way.
Yeah.
But man, they could set themselves up for such an incredible growth and connection with other humans without that, as long as the phone isn't in the way. Right?
Yeah. No, it's
But we have a lot of people, we have some ads where we have people saying, I'm sober curious, da 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 da. And I've found that a lot of people in Canada have not heard of that.
okay. Interesting.
A lot of people have, but I don't know what it is. But there's been so many people who've commented sober curious, what the heck is that? So silly. What are you? Just drink. And then I've also had conversations recently with a couple of people who did not dry January, but they cut out for a month or whatever. And or actually one person who just cut alcohol for a year I just talked to. And what she was telling me is that her biggest surprise is how difficult it is in social situations, not for her anymore. Mm-hmm. Once those habits shift and you're I can go and have fun and I don't need to be drunk. Mm-hmm. and I can wake up in the morning and feel great. Like this is really kind of good. I kind of like this. I feel better, but I can still socialize when I want to. And having something like this drink in your hand, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
Not because you need to feel something, but because it is just a social thing of having a drink in your hand. That changes it so much.
Sure. Even just now, like, sitting here, I'm so glad that we have
Right.
Like
a little
we're talking
mocktail.
about we're in a coffee shop, but we could also be at a
little wine bar.
A little bistro.
But she said like that was the most surprising thing is that how triggering it's been to other people around her.
Oh yeah, interesting.
When she says, "Oh no, I'm not drinking this year." They're like, "What do you mean? Why?"
Yes.
And I'm like, "Yeah, that's something you have to get used to."
Yeah.
And it's like it's not you, it's that to me that shows that maybe they have a conflict with their own relationship with alcohol or like it's just too scary to even think about not drinking because it's such a clutch maybe that it's like kind of eye-opening when you're the one who's stopped where you're like like I wonder if I was ever like that or
I mean I think I think it is shifting for sure. I think when I started this in 2019 we'd get a lot of like, oh, do you want to try a bubbly, not boozy option? Oh, I prefer the booze. It's like, okay. And I think there was more people who would have that reaction of like, by offering a non-alcoholic option, they felt judged for wanting to have an alcoholic option. So that's why I always say to all of our team, not black or white. It can be zebra.
I love that.
Like finding a new balance is what many people are going through, are adventuring on.
Yeah.
And I think as we just keep seeing more options and more people, it becomes less stigmatized. Because for sure, I was talking to my mother-in-law, and she was remembering a story like I told my friends about being pregnant earlier than many, and she said, "Oh, why did you do that? You shouldn't tell people until you're into your second trimester or 12 weeks or whatever." And I said, "Well, they're gonna know because I'm not drinking, right? And because I would go if I went to a party and I didn't have a drink, they'd be like, 'You're pregnant,' right?" And I think that stigma around even asking why aren't you drinking, it's like we don't need, and I think the younger generation, like going back to that, they don't need
that.
It's not like a why aren't you?
Yeah.
It's just you do you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
which is wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's something to celebrate for sure.
Yeah.
When we started our brand, we didn't really have any concept that we would have mocktails kind of as part of our product.
Okay, interesting.
I've never really been a drinker. I've never really drank. It was never an experience that I really had. So like for me, it was like, all right, well, let's make soda healthy. Yeah. Because that was kind of a big trend in the United States, with the poppies, Ollipops and stuff. But what we found was our customers were telling us, oh, this would be a cool mocktail.
Yeah.
We're like,
I started making mocktails and then it was like, whoa.
That's what people want.
There's this whole other market. And then it was just natural. And I don't drink really anymore. But I'm the same where it's just like, if I want to, I will have a drink. Yeah. Like when I was in Italy at my best friend's wedding, I had a glass of wine. Yeah. And that was like the first glass of wine.
That's what I did in France.
Right. And it's like, cool. Yeah. But most of the time I don't want it. I'm just like, it's just not worth it.
You get further and further away from it and you don't want it anymore.
Yeah. When I was like 20, it kind of felt okay every now and then, to have something. But now if I think, I don't know when the last time I tried something was, but the next, like even within an hour, I was like, my skin feels like it's crawling. This is not pleasant for me.
Yeah. So like we don't really drink ever. Yeah. Like we've had a couple drinks in our almost 10-year relationship. Mm-hmm. We probably had like, I don't know, 20 drinks.
Minus the first like 6 months,
Yeah, but even then it was like maybe one or two drinks in a night. It wasn't like ever a lot. Yeah. So for us, but I used to be in the bar scene in Ottawa. I used to
work at a bar.
Work in the bar. I used to have people over all the time, and I would love making different drinks. Like I loved making alcohol taste good because I didn't like drinking it to get drunk. I liked drinking it because it tastes good. Right. So like for me, it was always about a delicious drink, not about I want to have this much alcohol in my drink so I can be belligerent, And so it's interesting because once we started making mocktails with our product, it was so fun for me because I got to do that again.
Right. Be
like
creative too, right?
To,
like that's what I love as well.
Exactly.
Is like little piece of art.
And then using other brands too, collaborating with other brands to highlight each other is so fun for me as a business person too. So like we've done collaborations with like tea brands. We've done collaborations with non-alcoholic liquor brands, or liquor alternatives. I don't even know what you would call
spirits
them. Spirits. And then, you know, these kind of things. We've done kombuchas. And it's just so fun and easy.
Yeah.
And the mocktail side has like really, really, really blown up just naturally.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Which has been really cool.
I think that like from our perspective, it's all about collaboration over competition. You know, there's such a huge market. Like if truly 50% of the world is like open to non-alcoholic alternatives, there are billions of people to go around that are all of our products. It's like we're here with the same mission together.
For sure.
And it's to like enrich people's lives through new options.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And more meaningful conversations. And so it's like that's why, you know, we were having you on as like our first guest here with our new revamped podcast. It's like it's so fascinating to learn, you know, the journeys that entrepreneurs go through. And I know one of the things for us is, you know, what's been critical for us as entrepreneurs is taking feedback from customers. Like that process, because we came in, we didn't really know what we were doing. Most entrepreneurs don't. And like the customers have almost guided our journey. You know?
They have to, right? Again, not letting the great get in front of the good. You put something out there, and then it's good enough, and you get feedback, and then you tweak. You tweak. Yeah.
I think I don't know if it's Simon Sinek, but he said something about like failing quickly.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so that's we fail a lot. You know, but you always just try to fail forward. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
And you won't always do it, but you know.
So what have been some of the most fun experiences on the journey of growth for you? Like what have been the most fun, exciting, like, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened?
I was in New York City this summer. So I was doing a trade show in New York City, and that was a moment. And I felt really loved by New York City.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, New York has this, you know, this reputation of being very edgy and gritty, but they're softies. Everybody was so sweet.
I love that.
Even down from, you know, like I'm schlepping all my display gear and all that stuff, and you know, a guy on the subway is like, "Here, let me help with that." You know, getting on the wrong subway and people, you know, helping me navigate the city. But it was a real moment. I was at this trade show. It was the Summer Fancy Food trade show.
Yeah.
And so there's people not only from all over the U.S. but all over the world, and that was fascinating. You know, there was brokers from Italy and people from the Caribbean who, you know, supply yachts, and people from the Middle East, and that was a real moment. Just to see the potential, and that it is a global shift, as opposed to, you know, just a niche, fleeting trend.
Right.
It was really exciting to be there, and there were we're chatting with Bloomingdale's about bringing our product on in 2026.
Nice.
So that was a big moment to shine on
that.
New York City.
I love that. That's so exciting. Good for you. I hope that it all goes very smoothly.
Yeah, I mean, and if 10% of it does, then that's fine too.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, that's usually what it is. Eh?
Yeah.
So
and then what about challenges? Like what have been some of your hardest moments in building your business, things that you've had to overcome?
Where do you start?
I know those are
there's a lot of logistics, right?
Yeah.
And that's very practical, but I think, you know, what applies more to people generally is building that resilience.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, like changing your approach to the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Because it can be, you know, I'm in New York City and there's Bloomingdale's and then you come back and it's like, who knows what happens, right?
Yeah.
Like myriads of logistical small little tasks that get challenging. And I think just learning to ride the roller coaster more even keeled has been, and not take it all like not take it personally, because it becomes your passion.
Yeah.
Right? It's your baby.
Yeah.
And you want to celebrate wins, but not let the challenges bring you down.
I love that.
That's the hard thing, is when people have negative feedback for your baby.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's my baby.
right. It's like somebody dissing your kid.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Depersonalizing it can
Exactly.
be really difficult.
Yeah. And I mean, that's depersonalizing it and then learning from that.
Yeah.
Right. Taking that feedback and then running with it.
So what does your organization look like today? Like, do you have help in certain areas? What parts were the first parts you got help with? What do you find the most supportive?
Yeah, so my husband and I started it. He has another job, but it remains, as a director in the business, and supports with recipe redefining. We're a small team. I have an amazing staff who is just lovely. That was a new 2025 venture. When you have a baby and then you try to, you start trusting other people with it.
Yeah.
Again, perfectionist in recovery. And, finding someone who is just like equally driven for success was a real blessing. We were just writing each other Christmas notes and saying like, "You're my blessing for 2025." Back to each other. And finding we have a great team, whether it comes from like manufacturing, our distribution partners, our fulfillment center, like just finding those people who care about quality service and want to, have, if there's something wrong, of course, there's always going to be something wrong, but recognizing it and saying, we need to fix this. Let's fix it. Let's do it and move on.
Yeah.
And not taking it personally and learning from it. And so that's our team right now. We have a small internal team and then a lot of like exceptional partners that we rely on to get it from A to B.
Yeah.
So is your product made in Ottawa, or is it like locally?
It's made in Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. And was that a difficult process finding the right manufacturer? Because I know for us it was a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. No, it again, that's like the most trust. When you say like trusting your baby is who do you take your recipe that you made in your kitchen and hand it off to, and we have a really great manufacturer. They, I would trust them with my child, to take care of them. Yeah. But if I was going on a trip or something, they're responsive. They care about quality. They problem solve. We always run into stuff. Oh, this palette needs to be relabeled in this way, and we got to resticker it. Okay, let's do it.
That's
and they're always and if anybody's interested in starting a CPG product, I think a lot of people start with making it themselves, but then it gets to a point where you can't do everything yourself again, like
compliantly or otherwise.
Exactly, like food safety wise, like our manufacturer has all the food safety certifications, and now exporting to the US, FDA as well. And so it is finding that partner. It's interesting because I went down the road a couple of times of trying out other manufacturers, and I think I could have trusted my gut a little earlier. I don't know if you guys got into this situation where like, oh, the price is right, and it kind of looks like it will work on paper, but the responsiveness is not there. The ability to, I've said one person I was working with is like a man baby, like a man child. It's just like, oh, I'm trying to help everybody out, and like, oh, I thought this happened. Like, you can't, I can't work with people.
Not professional.
No. It's not, and learning to, like, working with partners who have that emotional intelligence. My manufacturer right now, going through a big transition, called me right away. This is a situation, we want open communication. We want to be transparent, as we always have been, and we work through it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to find. I feel like people don't realize. They're like, oh, well, why can't you just make it here or do this or do that? And it's like, it's so hard to find, number one, somebody that you trust and somebody that can keep the quality and, have a shelf ready product made.
Yep.
And then there's like the finances of manufacturing, not only for you, but also for them.
Right.
Like, are you working with a small manufacturer that has, can barely keep the lights on? Are you working with a large manufacturer who you're just another number for, and they don't pay attention to detail?
Yeah.
It's so hard to find, and there's not that many options. And then when you have a unique product like ours that nobody's making this,
Right.
It's like there's nothing. There's nothing.
And then that's why it becomes chemicals in a can, right?
Exactly. Because then it's like you have
you
to
just throw,
Well,
this is very easy for me to make at mass scale, and you throw it in a can, and it's
exactly.
And that's why, many of the products that are out there don't have that craft nature that you would expect from wine, but it's changing. It
is changing.
Yes.
And it's brands like you that are raising the bar for what the customers want,
and
right?
they do,
and
it's
great.
They taste the difference. Like we sent our bottles to wine and spirits competition in London, and we got silver in New York City.
Amazing.
We got gold.
Incredible.
And so like having sommelier approval, and people do taste the difference. So like in the end, quality, going the easy route, getting it in a can, getting it shipped around might be a bit faster, but I think in the end, quality is what customers are looking for.
Yeah.
You can't sell your soul for the economic gain. Right?
It's not what I'm into. Like we talked about my background a little bit, but I was in the environmental world, and that was my passion at the time, was environment and climate change, and I never thought I'd have a consumer product. It didn't interest me, but having this consumer product with really a social benefit is what motivates me.
Purpose behind it.
Exactly. And and it's nice to have something physical that you are, I say, like celebrating with people, spirit free, but in spirit, we're there with them. And whether it's the adoption papers or the bachelorette party or weddings, it's just so lovely to think about these little bottles traveling further than I have. They've gone to like some of the BC coastal islands. I'm like, I want to go to Bella Bella. I've never been there.
So awesome.
Yeah. So it's fun.
So cool how your business makes a bigger footprint.
Yeah.
This is extension of you energetically. That's blessing people. It's so awesome.
Yeah. And that keeps me going in the roller coaster of entrepreneurship.
Amazing. I have one more question before we do our last final questions.
Yeah.
What, dry January is coming up or here.
Yeah.
Depending on when people listen to this. But what would be some of your tips and just like rethinking what dry January can be? Because I think people put a lot of pressure on themselves, or they see it as I have to give up alcohol. I can't do that. What would be your kind of main tips for people?
So many tips, but I think I want to preface it with like, it is really not easy. You know, like when I really had a reset with alcohol, I did dry January. And then I wanted to do dry February in Canada. Like we have dry February with the Canadian Cancer Society. And I finished month one. I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I get like premenstrual lows, like 3 days before my period. My mood just completely crashes.
Yeah, I feel that.
I feel that too.
Do we? Yes, in a different way. And I was going into that. It was the end of dry January. And I was like, I can't do it. But for the community that we're creating, and that's really what we want to do is create a community of people who are not just drinking our beverage, but are sharing ways to make themselves feel better holistically. I was like, I got to do dry February. And then by the end of dry February, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is like, I needed the 2 months to do the real reset. And then it became like, okay, I have a glass of wine. Yeah, this is fun. I'm in France. And I'm like, but now I feel like crap and I can't go, I don't want to go hiking. Like, I guess I'm going to drag myself up the hill, but I'm not like, crushing this hill. So I just want to preface it with that, just to give people realistic expectations that, you might see like, being sober and cutting back on alcohol, it's so lovely and it's all roses. It's like, well, there's a moderation, a re-equilibrating equilibrating that has to happen in our bodies, and that could be challenging.
Yeah.
But I think with focusing on your why, I think that's really interesting, is like kind of becoming a little scientist about your habits, and figuring out like, why do I want to drink at this point? Is it because I'm stressed? Is it because I'm hungry and I'm just looking for some calories before I make supper?
Right.
Or is it because I'm a little socially awkward? And just putting yourself in those experiments, like what happens if I walk into this room and I don't have an alcoholic drink? What if I have, try your best to find what's out there depending on where you are, and living through that experience, and then realizing really what was the worst that happened? Not that much, right?
Right.
And building that resilience, I think, is keeping that why in mind, and doing little experiments with yourself just builds up that new equilibrium.
I love that. I think the most helpful thing for people is to realize that it is just an experiment with yourself.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be
100%.
anything for anybody else.
Exactly.
It's you learning more about you.
Yes.
And taking steps to become a better you. And that doesn't mean no alcohol or alcohol. It
don't
can
feel like you
mean,
failed if you have a drink in
it
dry
can mean
January.
Some things. I love how you were saying it's not black and white. It can be zebra.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
But also, like, if people are pressuring you, like, it's no one else's business what you put into your body.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
And
like
building that confidence to be
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not drinking.
Yeah, just like reclaiming that.
And they say why?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
It could just be as simple as that.
Yeah.
I'm just
don't
not.
feel like it.
It's like, why are you wearing red?
Yeah. I like the color.
Because I like
red.
it.
Yeah. You might not like red, but I like red.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever people asked me, because I went from drinking all the time to not drinking. I did a year actually.
Okay.
So I decided in a year, I guess it was like 2016 or 2016. I just was like, I'm just not going to drink at all for 1 year. I just want to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
It was just that experience,
You wanted that challenge.
experiment with myself.
Yeah.
Can I go 1 year with not one drink?
Right.
And I did it. And it was, like you said, like once it was a couple weeks in or a couple months in, it was so easy. It was just my new normal.
Yeah.
And people would ask me, why aren't you drinking? And I would just say, well, I think at that time I probably just said, I'm trying to do a year without drinking just to see what happens and see how I feel. But now I just say, I just feel better.
Yeah.
I just feel better. And that's enough. And it kind of makes people think too, where it's like, I'm not saying drinking's bad. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just for me, it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it anymore to drink.
Yeah.
Like, it's like not worth it for me to eat dairy.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah, sure.
It just doesn't sit with me. So it's like, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be, you don't have to explain it to anybody.
I
right?
like that. I think that's a good message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Should we close it out with the closing
Do
questions?
our first
The
closing
first time.
question.
Okay.
First time doing the closing questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I am.
Okay. Is there a moment you wish you had followed your bliss more?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I'm a really hard worker, and I think I look back on some of the times that I worked really hard and, like burnt out and gave myself to other companies and other businesses and bosses and deadlines where, I think just looking back, I could have, it's all a lesson, and you can't go back, and you have to go through that to find what works for you. But I think, being an entrepreneur, one of the things I really love about it is I don't work overtime.
Yeah.
I can prioritize. If it doesn't come to the top of the list during my 9 to 5, I don't like, I'll do a demo, I'll do a trade show, but like I'm really being able to prioritize and keep my own hours and my own schedule and for health, because if we're not, so many entrepreneurs struggle because they put all of themselves all into it and burn out, and that's not sustainable. And when we're about making people feel good, like our team needs to feel good too.
Yeah.
So, if it's the one store that has an emergency, well, okay, let's automate that. Let's try to make that so that they have the service level, but we can't give them all of our attention that we're, writing emails at midnight, because we need sleep and we need rest, and that's so important. So
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's one area that didn't have the balance at one point.
Okay, that's good. So what does finding your bliss mean to you right now?
Ooh, right now. Yeah, I think finding that healthy balance between being an entrepreneur, being a parent. Yeah, that's my bliss is finding that. Yeah, having a creative outlet, a purposeful, meaning to my life outside of being a parent, but then also having enough space and time to be present with my family and going to the gym. I've really become a gym rat. Okay. I'm saying for dry January, the only bar I'm going to is bar class.
I love that.
I don't know if you tried it, but it's magic.
Oh, good for you. That's amazing. And it's not easy being a parent and a business owner. So props to you for that too, because it's even another layer onto the challenges of it.
Yeah.
Especially during Christmas break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we're it's Christmas, New Year's, dry January. Like this is the peak time. But luckily, we communicated and we're able to take a nice week off.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Love it. So what's next for you? How are you working to bring more bliss to your life?
To my life?
Yes.
It can be like to your life or into your business. What's next for the business? Whatever.
Yeah.
However you want to answer the question.
Well, maybe I'll take it 2 ways. So for the business, we are doing our U.S. launch right now. So we're going to be across the U.S. at Co-op grocers.
Nice.
They're from New Hampshire to Washington State to California to Florida. We're going to have all 4 corners of the U.S. with these independently run and owned businesses, but they have a centralized procurement. So we're doing a Valentine's Day promotion with them. Cool. So that's just seeing these bottles spread across.
That's incredible.
Is really lovely.
Yeah.
And then personally, my bliss, just getting outside, enjoying. I love Ottawa in the winter. It's just like a magical fairyland.
Yeah.
Going skating and skiing and trying to disconnect when I can. Going out to a cabin tomorrow, actually. Just my daughter and I to shut it off and just enjoy the sparkle of nature.
I love that. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, it was so
thank
amazing.
You. This did go by quickly.
Chatting, right? It's so easy just to chat. And
thanks,
I feel like
guys.
I still have a million more questions, but that's okay. We can keep in touch. And
yeah. I'm really glad you reached out. Thank you.
Yeah. Cheering you on all the way.
Yeah,
and
same to you.
If there's any way we can support, we love it. We love all of the collaborating and lifting each other up.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for listening. If this episode inspired you or made you think of someone, please send it their way. We would love for it to help them too, and it really helps the podcast. Follow along at Ananda Elixirs on social media. We can't wait to connect with you.